All right, guys, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, where we talk about all places to live, and you can kind of decide whether you should or shouldn't live somewhere. So today we're going to be talking about Concord, North Carolina, and we have Nate Brink with us as our guest. Nate, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So are you kind of tell me about like originally where you're from, or are you native to North Carolina?
Yes, I am. So I actually grew up about 20 minutes from Concord in the town called Salisbury. Um, it's kind of a more of a secondary market, I guess you would say, but definitely love Concord. I've lived here for about a year now, and I love it a lot better than Salisbury. It's definitely a lot more developed.
Got it. So developed in terms of like more job opportunities and stuff?
Definitely. I can touch on that a little bit more later if you like. But I know there's like a ton of huge companies coming in. They've got Macy's. They just signed a little bit about me, if that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm a commercial and residential broker. So I do a little bit of everything. I primarily do commercial. But I started out in residential, love residential, and still do a little bit of residential to this day. So being that I'm in commercial, I kind of hear things to the grapevine of what's coming into town, what jobs are going to be coming into town. And recently, this is in China Grove, so it's about 15, 20 minutes from Concord. Um, Macy's decided to make a huge distribution and online order fulfillment warehouse in China Grove. It's like a $584 million project. It's huge. And that's going to bring about 2,200 jobs to the area.
Oh.
And then we also have other companies like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Eli Lilly.
Mm-mm.
So it's a huge pharmaceutical company, and they're actually they actually just started digging ground not too long ago for a huge manufacturing site, and that's going to bring another 600 jobs. So there's so much development and so many different things going on in Concord. It's pretty cool. They also got Red Bull too. They're starting, I believe, at the end of this year. They're going to start breaking ground, and they're going to bring 400 jobs with an average salary of about 50,000. So they're gonna bring up the average income for Cabarrus County by about 10,000. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Why are companies like moving to the area? Like,
It's definitely because of its location to Charlotte. So it's about 20 to 30 minutes from Charlotte, which is obviously it's one of the fastest growing cities in the country right now. And everyone's moving to Charlotte to sort of start new businesses, start new ventures, and especially with the pandemic and everything that's been happening, a lot of people have moved to Concord for a fresh start because it's cheaper. Housing is a lot, like you can sell a house up north for a lot more, come down and get a huge mansion for a reasonable size house up north. So that's kind of a cool thing for people who are coming from other states to Concord. But really it just has to do with it being so close to Charlotte.
yeah, and so Macy's is coming to the area. I was gonna say I thought they died, or they're like dying, but they're
Yeah,
sorry.
clearly not.
Yeah.
Clearly not.
They're pivoting as they probably should have a long time ago, but
Yeah.
they're to do the whole online kind of online thing. They're building like giant facilities, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for them. Let's talk about the cost of living a little bit. So you were mentioning, these companies are coming to the area, going to be raising wages, and which is a good thing, I think. But for people who are thinking about moving to the area or purchasing, what does that look like in terms of cost? Low, medium, and high kind of thing.
Yeah, of course. So for the town of Concord, just saying Concord, Concord kind of is a little bit of a coverall because I mean, people say they're in Concord and they're a little farther out in the country. So there's a pretty big range. But I would kind of break Concord up into probably two segments. So you have the more historic, down to earth, older homes, old mill homes. There's a lot of old mills that were in the area. So there's a lot of old mill homes and old colonials and stuff like that in the area. So those, I have a range between 107,000 and 2 mil. That's overall. But within that downtown Concord, that's what I'm going to call that area. I mean, your medium 3-bedroom, 2-bath house is around 279. And the average is around 285. So, I mean, you've got a range, for that area between, I have 168 and 625. So it really obviously depends on location and kind of what's going on in that area and condition of the house and several other things.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a nice range there.
Yeah. No, that's great. And like, cost of living outside of housing and stuff, like around the area. What is that? I guess, what does that look like for you guys?
So I know a lot of people right now during these times are struggling with gas prices. So why don't we talk about gas? I feel like that would be a good indicator of cost of living. So today I just filled up my gas tank and it is $4.59 a gallon. So that's really high for around here. I know California, I'm sure it's like what, $7?
Yeah, I filled up yesterday. I paid $6, I believe, a gallon. So yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of gives you a rough idea of kind of the cost of living around here. Obviously, with inflation, it's hard to pinpoint it. I feel like the best way to describe it is just right at gas prices.
Yeah. We all, or most of us who don't drive Teslas, we all fill our tanks.
Yeah.
When I was in Mexico, we were like joking around. We are like, I don't see any Teslas around. But it's just it's like,
that's funny.
Yeah, it was just funny. Let's dive into the weather around the area. So like, describe the weather for us.
So we have 4 seasons. Everywhere has 4 seasons, but some have, long winters or long summers. So we have, on a hot summer today, like today, it's very humid around here. But you're looking between, 70 to 90 degrees. So not too bad. But obviously it's really humid. And then in the spring, you're looking from 60 to 75. And then in the winter, we get probably 2 or 3 good snows every year. And when I say good snow, I mean, we get like 3 to 6 inches. And then we get several little drizzles, but it doesn't get too cold. I mean, it's touched in the teens at night. But other than that, you're looking at probably in the 30s and 40s during the winter.
So not too much snow, but just enough to not hate it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you get a taste of it.
Yes, because I know people from the north, they complain. They're like, I hate the winter. They're like, I can't stand it. It's like the worst part. And then hence the snowbirds who come down. Because
so we have snowbirds that they go down to Florida. And I don't want to overgeneralize anybody, but a lot of times, they go down to Florida and it's way too hot, way too humid. So a lot of them just settle and end up back in North Carolina because it's kind of in the middle. And so it's a really nice climate around here. One thing I like, which doesn't really have to do a whole lot with the climate, but just kind of geographically, we have in Concord, we're about 3.5 hours from the beach and about 2 hours from the mountains. So we can experience, I don't know, some people are big mountain people and some people are big beach people. We kind of cover both in that. So what are you? Would you say you're a mountain person or a beach person?
I'm definitely a beach person. So
yeah,
100%. No, beach is all day. I like swimming. So
you surf?
No, I don't surf, but I just love swimming in the ocean. It's great. It's so nice. And it's weird because when you're in the ocean, it's like, or at the beach, it like engulfs you. So it's like on all your senses. You can see it.
Oh yeah.
You can touch it. You can taste it. You can feel it. You can smell it. You can hear it, so you're kind of like forced into to be in nature in that sense. So that's I love it. With regards to the snow though, so like going to the mountains, you guys are able to, you're able to drive there and stuff. Do people, it's pretty packed when it's actually snowing and stuff? And, or I guess when it snows, people go to the mountains kind of thing.
Not so. Obviously, it snows a lot more in the mountains than it does here in Concord. But the cool thing about the mountains of North Carolina, we're part of like the Appalachian Mountains, so we don't have like the cool big mountains that you have out west, but we have all these cool little towns, which I'm sure you do out west too. But and we actually supply a huge amount of, at least the East Coast, Christmas trees. So a lot of people go up there during fall time, watch the leaves drop, and then closer to Thanksgiving and stuff, they go and get Christmas trees and ship them all over the U.S.
Nice.
But definitely the East Coast. So.
Okay, that's I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if we've gotten a Christmas tree from there. Or maybe, who knows? I have no idea how that works. But let's let's talk about like things to do around the area.
Yeah. Okay. So Concord has so many different things to do. Depending on, if you're into nature and hiking, there's tons of hiking and trails and parks all around. If you like volleyball, we got volleyball courts all around, tennis courts. I mean, there's so many things to do. I'll try to just touch on a few. If you're kind of into, I don't know, nightlife, or going out, grabbing a beer with some friends, we've got some really cool breweries in Concord. One of my favorites is called Southern Strain Brewery. They have this kitchen inside of it called Hot Box Kitchen, and they have like the best wings. So head out if you ever come to Concord, hit me up. We'll go check it out. And then also Cabarrus Brewery. So we have a ton of breweries in the area. Some other things, like, I mean, you can't really talk about Concord without talking about NASCAR. NASCAR is like such a huge thing in Concord. We have, I mean, a lot of famous NASCAR drivers live in like Mooresville, which is like 20 minutes, I guess, west of Concord. And so it's really huge place for NASCAR. We got the NASCAR Hall of Fame, Charlotte Motor Speedway, which is technically Concord. So there's a lot of money that comes in from NASCAR into Concord, and it's just a really cool spot to check out. We also, obviously, we're so close to Charlotte. There's so much nightlife. There's so many clubs. There's so many concerts. So many different things. Sports. We've got the Carolina Panthers. I mean, from 30 minutes from my house, and I live like right near downtown Concord. And then, we have baseball teams. So there's just so much to do around Concord.
That's so cool. What's the drive like if you're, driving into Charlotte to maybe go out for dinner or something?
Yeah. I would say probably in the sense of how bad is traffic.
Yeah, or like, is it like 30 minutes, 20 minutes kind of thing, or?
Yeah, so one thing that is kind of a con, not really so much to Concord, but getting in and out of Charlotte, they are working on so many different highways and stuff, so there's traffic's backed up a lot. So I mean, it's not nearly as bad. I've been to New York. It's not nothing like New York, but obviously New York's a mega city. But you definitely have your struggles sometimes. I mean, I haven't had more than like a 20-minute delay in traffic, but I mean, you still do have some delays.
If you're traveling internationally or to other parts of the state, closest airport, is it Charlotte or?
So we actually have two airports. We have Concord Regional. So that one is really good for flights to Florida. So if you just want to get a cheap flight to Florida, check out Allegiant Airlines. They fly out of there and they have really good rates. And then obviously Charlotte if you want to go anywhere international.
Charlotte, nice. I love how they have something specifically to go to Florida, because you guys are pretty close. Like,
It's weird, yeah.
yeah.
But they have flights mostly to Florida. I think they have them to a few other towns too. But I've flown out of there primarily just to go to Florida.
Yeah,
and they're fairly reasonably priced.
Right. Yeah, if you want to go get a little warmer, and the beaches, I'm sure too, down there are a lot different than the ones in North Carolina. Yeah, because you guys you said you're about 4 hours from the beach.
Yeah, three to four.
3 to 4, yeah. How are the beaches, like, if you're comparing them to the Florida beaches?
Okay, yeah. So obviously, it's not as beautiful as, say, the Gulf Coast with the crystal clear water and the white sandy beaches. But it's very nice beaches. Most of them kind of in the south part. But actually, every beach that I've been to has been very family oriented. It's not quite like Myrtle, which is a little more party scene. Most North Carolina beaches are very quiet and calm, and a lot of fun. They've got a lot of great places around there to eat, and a lot of them are developing a lot too and growing as people are moving down here.
So let's dive into the culture within Concord in North Carolina. So if you had to kind of sum it up and describe it, how would you describe it?
So I would say there's a lot of diversity here, because we have people moving from all over the place. We have people who born and raised here, they're going to die here. People from New York, Los Angeles, Seattle, like all over. I know people from like pretty much all 50 states that are here, and all from all over the world. So it's really cool because you get to see a cool mix of people. I would say that it's really cool because I get to see a lot of community outreach around here. They've got a lot of events, a lot of different things to kind of pour back into the community, as well as for younger people like myself, we have a really good community of people. You can always go out and meet somebody our age, and that's really cool.
Like, is it like a sleepy town, or is it more of like a slower pace kind of?
Yeah, so I would say the Concord Mills, that area, because it's closer to Charlotte, is a little more faster paced. It's got a lot of restaurants, a lot of different things to do. Closer to downtown Concord is, I wouldn't say sleepy, I'd say medium. It's really calm, great place to go out, grab a pizza. You feel safe walking down the streets. It's really nice. I would say probably medium.
Okay,
I wouldn't say sleepy.
You feel safe walking down the streets.
Yes,
that's always a positive. Like,
yeah.
Only because I came back from Mexico
City.
Can
I say that? Can I say that?
Yeah, please, yeah. That's like the real truth. Like that's like the honest. Because Mexico City people who are like from there literally would tell us, "Hey, be careful when you're like, don't walk at night," kind of thing. People from there. So we were like, "Oh shoot."
So there definitely are areas that are a little sketchier than others. But I mean that's all subjective. So.
Yeah, no, totally, and stuff. But if you happen to get hurt as you're walking down the street, you guys have. Let's talk about healthcare. So, if you need to be escorted to the nearest hospital or need some type of surgery or something, dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So Concord has Atrium Health, which is a huge hospital. And people from secondary markets, or people that are more rural markets, I should say, most of them all come to either Concord or Charlotte for like specialty needs, or if they have any surgeries. Most of them come to Concord and Charlotte because they have more specialized doctors. So they have a really great hospital system here. And it's very conveniently located right off the highway. Not a lot of traffic off of this particular exit where this hospital is. So yeah, they have great healthcare in the area.
That's great. So in the area, like, it sounds like it's like a mix of like, just like a regular mix of community. Like, some communities are, it's like, oh, it's retiree kind of place, and some
Yeah.
places it's like, oh, like working professionals, like primarily. Um, in terms of like yeah, is it just a general mix in the area, or?
Yeah, it's a very healthy mix. We obviously have a lot of young professionals, and not even just young, just professionals in general. There's a lot of people who work in Charlotte. So being that this is kind of a secondary market,
You're right, got it.
yeah. So it's not, it's a suburb. That's what I'm trying to say. It's
Yeah.
kind of a suburb of Charlotte. So a lot of people that work in Charlotte or work around Charlotte, they all live in Concord and Kannapolis and Harrisburg, which are all like right by each other.
Mhm.
So yeah, we definitely have a good mix of people.
Got it. And then yeah, they'll just commute to Charlotte, maybe where they're working or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Really? Got it. Got it. Okay. Um, I'm just kind of wrapping things up. The schools in the area, what does that look like?
Yeah, of course. So Concord has a lot to offer. Um, there are a couple schools that are okay, but I just did a little bit of research online other than what I already know. And like according to greatschools.org, 4 out of the 5 elementary schools in the area have a rating of 8 or better. So, that they use like test scores and just personal reviews of people.
Yeah.
We have several great middle schools and also high schools. So have you ever heard of early college?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so I actually went to an early college for high school. So what that is it's a program, I believe paid for by Bill Gates, or I'm pretty sure it was Bill Gates. And basically it's for first time college students, people whose parents necessarily didn't go to college. You can apply to do this. And then like me personally, I graduated high school with 2 associate's degrees.
Nice.
So that was a really cool program that allows people who might not get the opportunity to go to college to get some college under their belt and help them further along. We have one of those right down the street.
Nice.
I love it. I know the principal over there. He's really great guy, and there's just a plethora of charter schools around too. So
Ah,
you have got so many options.
okay. That's key. Having options is a
Yeah.
key to having a very healthy kind of an ecosystem, whatever that may be. Um, Interesting. Oh, wait, charter schools in terms of like like you have options you can pick from, kind of thing. Like if you want to go to public, charter, or private, kind of thing.
Yeah. There's a lot.
That's good. No, yeah, in California has some catching up to do in the education department in terms of primary education. So I think we're 49th. I don't even know anymore, but I know we're not on the right side of the bell curve. Um,
Yeah.
but which is like, hey, that's a conversation for another day. But okay, I guess kind of finishing things off, like for people thinking about moving to the area, like what would you recommend for them, or what are some like expectations you would kind of give them?
Definitely just kind of depends on person to person what they're looking for. Concord is a great market if you're looking to move from somewhere else, meet new people. There's a lot of community around here, a lot of places to plug in and meet people. So my personal opinion, great place to raise a family. I grew up close to here, so I love it. Obviously, there's things that some people might not like that I like,
Mm-hmm.
but overall, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Concord. It's growing exponentially. If you were thinking about moving, I definitely would. Just even with inflation, if we want to talk about the economy and everything that's going on now, even with inflation, house prices are going to continue to rise. And being that it's a secondary market or a suburb of Charlotte, it's going to do nothing but keep growing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I look at it. I mean, you got markets that are further out, it's going to take a little bit more time before they get to the level that Concord's at. But people are moving out of Charlotte to places like Concord, because cost of living is a little bit less, a lot less for housing, and it's just all around a great area.
Yeah, and then companies are moving in, so that's always a good thing.
More jobs.
I've never heard anyone complain that there's too many jobs. So it's usually just there's not enough jobs. So that'll be interesting to kind of see how that plays out and stuff. I'm sure we can hit you up if we want to kind of dive a little bit deeper into that, like in terms of companies moving in the area, or give us the early details if we can chat with you and stuff. Yeah,
of course. And I do a lot of investment real estate as well. So if you guys, you don't necessarily want to move here, but you're looking to expand your portfolio, you want to buy some investment property, or you want to, this is a great market to do it. It costs a lot less. Cap rates are a lot less, they're higher. So the cost is a lot less and you get a better return on your money versus, bigger markets like New York and LA, where it's just ridiculous, or you're not going to get a return for 30 years. So
sounds about right. Cool. We're gonna throw your info up top and then down below in the description. So if you guys have any other questions or you want to connect with Nate, feel free to do so. And I really appreciate you having you here on the channel today.
Yeah, thanks, Brian.